Welcome, everyone, to the Sports Pavilion here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. As we get ready for Big Ten Wrestling, Minnesota coming in 11-2 in dual meets this season, 5-1 in the Big Ten. Getting ready to take on the Spartans of Michigan State, 4-10 and 0-6 in the Big Ten. It's going to be a very interesting matchup between these two teams as they're getting ready to match up here in the Big Ten on Super Bowl Sunday, and there's a good crowd on hand as well at the Pavilion.
Great crowd, Adam, and I think we're looking at a heavily favored Gopher team coming into this one. Should be an exciting match. Good turnout, and just a blistery day here in Minneapolis. Good day for wrestling, being indoors.
Always a great day for wrestling. It's going to be a very interesting matchup as Michigan State hasn't beaten the Gophers since 04-05. That's how far back you have to go for their last victory. As we get ready for this one, we'll get over to Matt Nelson, introduce our third person of this squad. As Minnesota's won 5 straight dual meets, let's send it over to Matt's side with Matt Nelson.
And thank you so very much, Adam. You know, the talk around this Golden Gopher program is about the coaching staff. Jay Robinson, an institution at the University of Minnesota. He's been the wrestling coach here, head wrestling coach, for 27 years, but he's missed the last 4 duels due to a knee infection that required surgery. Now, a sight for sore eyes for Golden Gopher fans. Jay is in the building. He will be here, Matt's side today, to watch today's duel, but he is still a little bit laid up. He was on crutches, moving around earlier on. So Brandon Eggum will be the acting head coach. So for the Golden Gopher program, in very capable hands with Brandon. But for now, let's send it back to Adam and Gordon.
Thank you very much, Matt. Yeah, there's Jay Robinson, of course, with the victory today. That would be 400 in his college coaching career, and that's a very high watermark. Only 13 other college wrestling coaches have reached that in dual meets, and that's quite an accomplishment if you can get to 400 in your career.
Absolutely, and just a huge deal for Jay. He's been here. He's built this program bottom up, gone through a lot of adversity getting this program off the ground, and getting 400 for him would just be, and if you talk to him, not a huge deal for Jay, but a great deal for wrestling and for a guy who's dedicated his life to the sport and to this university.
And it is senior day as well here in Minnesota, the final home duel. Of course, they'll be hosting the national duels coming up later on in February, but this is the last one in the Big Ten season for them as well for the Gophers, and that's going to be a big thing. It's always, you remember those days, senior day. It's got a little special feel for those seniors, especially who've come through this system.
Of course, and we were talking about this a little bit before. The guys that are seniors today were freshmen when I was on the squad and when I was a senior, and so it's exciting. It's exciting for them to come through the program and finish something that they started and finish it strong like they are on a great Gopher team.
We're going to have Randy Hanson check it in for the Gophers here at 133 pounds from Bethel, Alaska. As we are underway here at 133, and this is one of the 3 matches a lot of people thought would be a possible toss-up match looking at this dual meet ahead of time, Gordon.
Definitely. Coming into it, we were looking at Chris Dardanes initially, but he's getting a
breather today.
Getting the day off, and we'll have Randy in there. He's a hard-nosed kid, real hard worker, and I think that he weather the storm here early. They're kind of feeling each other out right now, fighting for head position, and I think Randy's just going to look to establish himself early and really try to push through a little bit later in the match, use his conditioning to his advantage.
Nice shot in there by Fifield. Got both ankles on that one, and no takedown yet. Hard whizzer. Boy, that's a nice job by Hanson reaching back and putting that whizzer in at least for a period of time. Finally gives up the takedown.
Gives up the takedown, and he'll look to fight out here. Brenan, hard ride right now. Got the leg in, really trying to control Randy down there.
When you're talking about control and you throw that cross-body ride in, you see a lot of guys do that from time to time, and sometimes they use it to try and get that extra point on the riding time.
Exactly. Really effective ride, hard to get out of. The biggest thing to do when you come to college is really learn how to get out of legs, get off a bottom. It's one of the most important things, because if you get down there and you can't get out, well, then you're not going to be able to score any points from your feet. Looks like Brennan's getting close to some near fall here, but
Randy about what Hanson's doing right now. He's picking that ankle What does he need to do? Does he need to keep those hips high at this point?
He's got to keep the hips high. He's got to get turned around, but it's going to be tough. Brennan's got that locked up. And even though his hips are lower than Randy's right now, he's still in a good spot to maintain control.
Stalemate called. You think that's the right call there with the stalemate in that situation?
Yeah, neither wrestler was really improving their position. Randy was kind of stuck in there and not really improving, and that's when you're going to get the stalemate. I think it was a good call by the official there.
And in the Big Ten, you get 2 refs on the match, and as a former wrestler, you know how much of a difference. That's a nice thing to have.
Absolutely. I mean, and the biggest thing this year, especially with review and everything like that, is they're getting the calls right a lot of the times. I've seen...
Finally getting the escape there is Hanson.
Even in the Minnesota's previous match against Iowa, there was 2 challenges. One that was actually overturned to call in Logan Storley's match, and it's just just like all
nice
sports.
Duck under by Hanson. Good takedown.
Great pass by Randy, and he's it's just important to get the call right. I think that's why a lot of sports are going to that review, because that's what's important at the end of the day.
You want to try and get that call right. And
Absolutely.
A big takedown there for Hanson, because at that point it was a minute 16 of riding time. The Fifield had built up, but now Hanson's chipped away. He's got it under a minute, so no point at this time.
Hanson had the near wrist there. It looks like he's going. He's got the cross wrist now, which is a great ride. Finishes out the period. That's a really good deal for Randy there. Finishing out the period on top, not giving up the escape to Brenan.
3-2 the lead in favor of Randy Hanson, the redshirt sophomore from Bethel, Alaska. Got a little bit of blood time. That's been known to happen in a wrestling match from time to time. Once or twice, Brandon Fifield, if you've wrestled at any point in your career, everyone's had at least a little bit of blood time on there. Your nose always seems to take a beating for some reason.
Absolutely. Nose takes a beating. Guys are cutting a little bit of weight. Blood gets a little thin, and it's real easy to come out of that nose occasionally.
Fifield defers. Hanson will choose down here in the second period. 3-2 Hanson leading. Trying to sit
Some great movement by Randy. He's going to kick away here. He's trying to draw the stall call out. That Brennan's got to build up here. He's going to get hit. He does. And again, Randy to his feet. He's really doing a good job staying active down there, really putting a lot of pressure on Brenan to defend here. He's coming across. He's trying to get his hips over. You were talking about that earlier, getting his hips high. And he's in a real good spot for a reversal here, and he gets it.
Gets the reversal. It's now 5-2 lead for Hanson. Fifield did build up a little bit of riding time, but it will trickle back down here, and he'll not have that minute.
Randy goes right to that near wrist and then gets the cross wrist. Again, a very good ride to control Brenan here, and Brenan not doing a whole lot getting off the mat here.
So you can see he's got that left arm trapped underneath the body. That's what you're talking about.
That's exactly it. And he's going to be looking to tilt here. It looks like he's trying to get the wrist and maybe roll through for some near fall. If Brenan doesn't get going here, he's going to get hit with stalling.
Fifield from Michigan State and Hanson wrestling here from Minnesota, and there's that stalling. Gordon, you're on top of things here.
There's a few signs that you're going to see. A guy doesn't get his head off the mat. He's laying down there, not looking like he's doing a whole lot, and the ref is going to give him that stall call to say, hey, you're not doing much. Exactly what I just said. You need to get going. You need to wrestle here. And so it's just, the warning is to get guys' attention and to get him moving. If he doesn't get moving here quick, he's going to get dinged again.
And you're seeing by him keeping his hips down on the mat, he's not trying to build himself back up to a base right now. That's the big thing, right?
It would be a different thing if Randy was just parallel riding, but he's getting out to the side. He's getting, he's looking like he's busy.
He's getting in that aggressive area where he's going out to the side. He's trying to make that turn happen.
Exactly.
Fifield, you saw him look over. He initially signaled he wanted to be down. He looked over to the coaches. They said, no, you go both up, be on your feet.
Exactly. They don't want to put him down. He's definitely a better wrestler on his feet. Clearly, by the way, he's just got in there on Randy.
Well, and that was close. Hanson was nearly in a touch fall situation if that had been freestyle.
Exactly.
Looking for the takedown. Fifield, there it is. 2 points on the takedown for Fifield. Makes it 5-4. pretty much you can take out the riding time will not be a factor in this match unless he's able to ride him out the rest of the way.
And the way that Randy's been moving on bottom, I wouldn't expect that to happen. Brandon's in trouble here.
Fifield
He's got a high ride.
You don't want it when you're trying to ride with double grapevine. You never want to be that high. You never want your hips up by the shoulders.
Exactly, Adam. He's high right now. Randy wants to keep his hips back, and Brandon here just wants to flatten him out if he can, but he's high. He's not in good position to keep this ride.
He's just holding on for dear life right now. 30 seconds he's built up, though, in riding time. So it's 5-4 at this time. If he's able to build up the riding time, hard half he's got in.
Now, Brandon's doing a good job here, actually. He got his hips back. He's putting a lot of pressure on Randy to maintain this ride, and he's actually gotten himself into a much better position to finish out this match in the top position.
Fifield has built back up that riding time. He's up to a minute now, so if it ends as is, it would be 5-5 and we'd go to overtime.
Exactly right. The ref gives a stalemate there.
Call.
Yep, and this will give Randy an opportunity to get out and earn that W if he can get off a bottom here.
He needs to get that escape. Works up to his feet. Heel in the hands. Fifield brings him back down. Hanson trying to keep moving. Once again, Fifield high. 10 seconds.
This is going to be close. He's working for near fall here.
And Hanson
close.
Doesn't want to give that up. Fifield very close. There's the count. Did he get two?
He got two. That looked like
refs are going to talk it over.
That looked like near fall to me. I think they called it off.
No near fall is the call. Okay. And the difference.
And the head coach here is gonna come over and talk to the refs. I think that they're initiating a challenge. They're gonna go ahead and look at this on video, and just like we were talking about earlier in the match, they're looking to get this call right. To me, I think that he got too near fall there. I think that the referee had a 2 count before the match, the time expired on the clock, and I think that this will probably go the way of Michigan State.
So what's being decided right now, it's either going to go to overtime or it's a 7-5 victory for Fifield.
That's exactly right.
That's what's being decided at this point in time, and that the head coach can initiate a challenge in this situation. And it's going to be very close. I thought it was a very close to a 2 count. He was swiping that hand through. Here comes the decision. He's talking it over, and usually if you can judge by his reaction here.
Not sure Minkle's liking this call.
Yeah. Looks like we'll be seeing overtime. Yeah, he's. Let's check it out here. Here it is, late in that period. Watch the count.
So here he's close, and he comes back. There's your 45-degree angle. He should start counting there. 1, 2. And once you get to 2 counts, that is a 2-point near fall. And I think that's what they're looking to get here from Michigan State, and I don't know that they're going to get it.
So, Gordon, your thought there, looking at it back, you thought he might have started the count a little late?
To me, he started the call late, and he should have got it. But they're pushing this one to overtime. They're going to let the wrestlers decide it.
I don't think anyone's going to have too much of an issue with that. So we're going to go to overtime here at 1:33.
And he's in it again on that double leg, and he gets it right away.
Well, not yet. Hanson still fighting.
Hanson comes through.
Hanson just looking for a stalemate right now. Fifield wants to get the win here, and there he'll get a takedown.
2 points on the takedown.
So 7-5, the overtime victory.
Winner by 7-5.
In favor of Fifield.
And in all honesty, I think Fifield probably had that one at the end of the match, at the end of regulation, but he went ahead and sealed it there in overtime. I think that's a good win for Fifield.
It's time to go to 141 pounds now. Wrestling for Michigan State, Nick Trimble, the freshman from Sparta, Michigan. Went to Sparta High School as a Division II champ in Michigan at 130 pounds, getting ready to take on Nick Dardanes, the redshirt sophomore from Chicago, Illinois. Went to Oak Park River Forest, 2-time champion in Illinois. 4th place last year in the Big Ten tournament. Went 2-2 at the National.
Dardanes a real physical wrestler. Really likes to push the tempo, come out early, really bang hard on his opponent's head. And you won't see Nick taking a lot of shots here in the first period. He really likes to just push the tempo, be real physical, use his hands. And
right now he's pushing his opponent to the edge of the mat, too.
You'll see a lot of snaps, what you're seeing right there. Snapping, really keeping his opponent off balance. You'll look to see him open up in the 2nd and 3rd periods once his opponent is a little worn down.
Dardanes 4-2 in the Big Ten this year in the dual meets. 16-6 overall. Trimble 6-16. 0-6 in Big Ten matches.
You see a real hard snap there from Dardanes. Now that'll take a lot out of a guy. There's your pop double.
So you use that snap down to build up to that double leg shot.
You get a guy's weight coming forward, and once you snap him hard a couple times, he's sitting on his heels, and it gives you the opening to snap, pop, and double, just like Nick did there.
So 2-0 in favor of Dardanes here in the first. 3-0 the team lead for Michigan State. We're 141 pounds. Started at 133. Now, what was your philosophy off the whistle when you're in the up position? Did you always have a move you went to, or did you wait to see what your opponent did sometimes?
No, so I mean, off the whistle, it's advantageous for both sides of the coin, top position or bottom position, to move hard off of the whistle. You never want to just sit there and wait for your opponent to impose his will on you. So when you come off of the whistle, you're really looking, and Minnesota is real good about teaching this. You go to a real hard spiral ride, which means if you're riding from the left side, you're going to take your left hand to the armpit, right hand through the crotch, and try to twist your opponent to the ground. And you'll see, I'm sure that you'll see Nick do this.
Built up 54 seconds of riding time before he finally gives up the escape. As they go off the edge of the mat. 2-1 the lead in favor of Dardanes for Minnesota.
So you got 45 seconds left in the period. Nick's going to for sure try to get another score here in before the end of the period, and then he'll look to ride him out. Now that's Nick's bread and butter, putting a lot of pressure on people and waiting for them to shoot in on him. The Dardanes, both of them, have very heavy hips, which means that if you shoot in, it's like you're shooting into a brick wall a lot of times, and he'll have him shoot in and just go around for an easy 2, just like he did right there.
And the distance that Trimble had to take that shot, it wasn't from a tie. He had to take a long shot, too. And when you got powerful hips, a nice snap down in that single leg.
Great technique there. Snaps to a swing single. And he'll ride out the period here with a 4-point advantage and riding time going into the second.
Minute 18 of riding time he's built up in that first period. 6-2 the lead in favor of Dardanes. Dardanes will choose down.
Great way to end the period. You always want to score when time's short, especially when you're in the neutral position. Great period by Dardanes.
Yeah, he really kind of dictated the whole tempo of that period. That quick escape, my goodness. 2 seconds is all it took.
Just what we were talking about. Yep. You move off the whistle, you catch your opponent off guard, and Trimble didn't really have a whole lot there for him. Just kind of let him go and back on their feet, look for Nick to really amp up the tempo and hard snaps, harder doubles. I think that's what you'll see from Nick.
And even though both these guys are 141, I mean, Dardanes' upper body just looks so strong out there compared to Trimble. And Trimble's no weakling by any stretch of the imagination, but just the way Nick Dardanes' body structure is just so strong up top.
Very physical 141-pounder. That's Nick's MO, and it's the way he wrestles, very physical, hands-on.
And there's been stories about those brothers in the practice room I've heard of.
They get after it, that's for sure. They're the closest of friends and obviously brothers, but that when they're wrestling, it gets a little heated sometimes, and we all know how that can go.
Nice double leg takedown. 9-2 now the lead for Dardanes. So he built up riding time as well. So right now we're looking at a major decision. If it stays, things would hold serve. Cut some loose in there. A little bit of
Nick just being physical, just being Nick out there.
Sending a little message too while you're at it.
Here you've got a matchup of a guy in Dardanes who was a couple matches away from being an All-American last year against the freshman Trimble, and it's a big jump to go from high school to collegiate wrestling, just the physicality of it, and Nick's giving him a good introduction here.
There's a nice takedown there at the edge of the mat. How much are you trying to, when you were in those situations right on the edge of the mat, how much are you trying to think of, I got to keep this toe on and how can I still kind of get him for that takedown in that situation?
Well, it's extremely tough. It's great to score points on the edge of the mat. You kind of got a wall there that you're working against, and 1 foot in, it's you practice that in the room. You're gonna take guys down, or when you're trying to score, just dragging your feet. It's just like it's a lot like a reception in collegiate football or the NFL. You're just dragging your feet to keep it in bounds, and the technique is kind of similar for wrestling.
Choice for Trimble, chooses down. Alternate start for Dardanes. Just cuts him loose. And he's built up 2 minutes and 9 seconds of riding time as Dardanes. And you can see here Trimble is just trying to stay on it. He's just trying to survive this match right now. Yeah,
and Nick is really going to try to impose his will here, and he's a takedown specialist. Not a whole lot from the top position. So, if he's looking to extend the points to a technical fall or even a fall, he's pretty much going to have to go feet to back. So look for
nice single leg treetop. Trimble bails out and just says, I'll give you the takedown here. I don't want you to lifting me up and bringing me down like you're just saying, Gordon.
And Nick trying to set the tone here. This is an early match, second match of the meet. Really just trying to say, hey, Michigan State, this is how we're going to wrestle. And just go real hard here in the third period.
Hard sprawl by Dardanes after Trimble gets in on the legs. The true freshman is Nick Trimble. Sparta, Michigan. Right now, Dardanes is just looking for that stalemate. Yep.
Exactly.
Minute left to go. 2:17, so he's got that point now. At the end of the match, he'll have that coming. So it's 13-5, but in all reality, it's 14-5 is what we're going on.
Exactly.
And just that, like you were saying before,
heavy
coming
hips.
into this match, Gordon, just heavy hips, collar tie, snap that head down, and he used that to his full advantage there.
And you called it great earlier. He forces Trimble into a bad shot from far away, where he's not going to have a good chance at getting a hold of anything solid. And Nick Dardanes just goes around for two.
Or as we've seen sometimes, he'll snap him down, and then that'll force Trimble just to try and reach the arms
exactly.
out for a leg.
Seconds.
15-6 right now, the lead.
Dardanes kind of cruising. You saw that there. He took a fake shot, snap down, go behind. It's just
makes it look easy sometimes.
He is. He's cruising right now.
10 seconds left.
Probably ride this one out to the victory.
Take that major decision victory and put Minnesota ahead here. 18-6 the final. Favor of Nick Dardanes. Makes the dual meet lead now 4-3 in favor of the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Here's one of those takedowns you were talking about, Gordon.
Step, snap, hip tap, go behind. Textbook. That was just a beautiful takedown. Got him off balance, thought that he got his hips out, took a step, got Trimble's hips extended so he could snap him down, hip tap, and then just an easy go behind. That's a Dardanes signature takedown right there.
Got his chest out. When you're talking there, he got the chest in front of the hips with his opponent, snapped, and then blocked the hip and then got around. Beautiful
That's what
stuff.
you look for. I mean, that's a great late match takedown.
That brings us now to 149 pounds. Dan Osterman for Michigan State, a senior, 16-7 on the season, 6-4. He's from Carson City, Michigan. 3-time state champ in Michigan. See, he's got tape on that right knee, and I always felt whenever you're going out there with a knee pad on one knee or tape or a brace, it always turns into a huge target.
Little vulnerable. It's Osterman, is not. I don't think he's going to be afraid of Dylan Ness's ranking here. He just coming off of a huge victory against number 12 Soufflon from Nebraska. Got a fall there in the first period on Friday.
Dylan.
So Dylan trying to build some confidence. He came into the season, started wrestling at the Southern Scuffle, had a little injury that he was kind of nagging with to start out the season, and he's trying to build some confidence, get back to that form that he did going to the national finals last year.
6-3 overall in the season, 3-1 in the Big Ten. Of course, a runner-up last year, the NCAA, second in the Big Ten as well. 24-9 last year for Dylan Ness, the graduate from Bloomington Kennedy in Minnesota. Of course, older brother Jason Ness has a picture up here. And
big banner.
Yeah.
Big banner hanging out there.
Osterman with that shot.
And Ness, one of the funnest wrestlers to watch that you'll find. Kind of baits guys, shooting in on Ness there is half the battle. It's not even a quarter of the battle because his hips are so good and he's funky and really puts guys in a lot of awkward positions when they think they're in a solid position.
He is one of the better scramble wrestlers you'll see out there.
Absolutely. But there's a real good cement mixer. Osterman's got Ness. He's in big trouble here. He's Ness fighting, but it's early on in the match, so he's got a lot of steam. But Osterman's in a real good spot here against the national runner-up.
Right now, if you're Ness, what are you trying to do here in that bottom position? You see he's posting up on that knee. What else does he need to be trying to do in this spot?
You're pretty much just hanging on for dear life here. Osterman's got this tight. He's got the arm high in the pit there of Ness, and he's got his right arm really wrenching around Ness's neck right now.
Cinching in that reverse half.
This is a real tough spot here for Ness.
Trying to re-roll through. You see his shoulders pop
Great
up.
Fight.
Wow. 3 near fall given, so it's a 5-0 or 5-1 score now
Ness
in favor of Osterman.
Ness has got a hole to dig himself out of now. Osterman, a great move. That cement mixer was absolutely beautiful. Really caught Ness off guard.
Yeah, I had that front headlock just spins. Man, that was beautiful. Does that change your thought process now for either Osterman or Ness in this match with a 5-1 lead this early? Does that change your approach to this match the rest of the way?
Well, Osterman's got a great lead now. He's up 4 points. He's in a good spot to really kind of play defense here. I don't expect that just based on the way that he wrestles. He's a very aggressive wrestler, but Ness with a takedown there. And Ness has just got kind of an uphill battle here, but he's a guy who can score a lot of points in a hurry, and especially from the top position here, you see him going to that half Nelson.
Yeah, not afraid to go for the pin, and he tries to stack him up on the shoulders. Ooh. Time just expires, but 3 near fall. So just like that, we're talking about how your thought process may change in a match. 3 near fall for Ness, it's 6-5, and just as quickly as Osterman was ahead, Ness is now in. Osterman there was very close to getting stuck had there been a couple more seconds left to go.
I'd say you're exactly right, Adam. Ness, one of the more dangerous wrestlers in the country from the top position, and that half came in pretty easy there. I would expect him to, if he can get to the top position again, really go after that again. Exciting match here for the first period. That was fun.
Yeah, it's a good first period of action. We'll see what the second has in store. Quick stand up by Ness. Slowly worked his way up there. Gets the escape, 7-5. Interesting. Both guys leading with their legs that they've got either tape or a little pad in front of.
Exactly. Osterman there with another. Oh, and we got a
throw.
A lot of action here. Ness comes through, hips over.
2 points on the takedown.
And a really fun match to watch so far. And that was Osterman got to a over-under body clinch position and went ahead and threw it, but just as quickly as he thought Ness was going to his back. Ness hips over and comes out on top for a takedown.
By the way, when you were talking spiral right before, what he's doing right now, that is the definition of spiral.
Exactly.
So if you're ever wondering, wrestling fans out there, if you're wondering what that looks like, if you're
going
new,
for near fall here.
Nice trap.
Beautiful tilt. Beautiful tilt by Ness. He caught that cross wrist like we were talking about earlier, and then went ahead and put his head on the other side, rolled through, 3 near fall.
So it's 12-5.
Little quick start.
Nothing wrong with those. You got 2 of them to use, right?
Exactly. Use them up. You know, you can get an advantage, a great advantage. You know, you're kind of timing the referee's whistle, and you see right there, slightly right before the whistle blew, it looked like Ness was going there, but you know, I guess you could say that was right on the whistle as well. So
Ness just trying to hold on here for the remainder of the second period.
Now, this is Ness's move. He'll pull guys in.
12 seconds to try and ride. He's 33 seconds in the riding time right now for Ness.
He's got the spiral ride there. We were just talking about that. Right hand, or left hand where the kind of half is, and you see him just twist him down there, using the right hand for leverage to pull his hips to the mat.
Osterman wisely chooses neutral here when he has choice.
That's a good call by Osterman. He doesn't want to go underneath Ness for the potential of any more near fall.
Think he tries that cement mixer one more time?
I think he's going to be looking for it. I don't think that Ness will shoot in to give him the opportunity. Ness with a 7-point lead here. Osterman's going to be looking for a home run type move to get back in this match.
But he's got to get in close, got to come in for those collar ties then.
Exactly. It's, you know, I mean, to hit a home run, you got to have somebody pitching to you. And I don't think Ness is going to give him anything out over the center of the plate.
Uses that half shot by Osterman and takes him down for a takedown.
He immediately goes into a bar there with his right hand, half Nelson with the left hand, and Ness just going to look to power Osterman straight over his head to look for the fall. He's getting the half a little deeper.
Lost the arm bar.
Ness so good with that half because of his length. You know, a lot of wrestlers have different attributes. Ness's greatest attribute would be his ability to use his length for leverage, and you see that there with.
Remember in the first period, he tried stacking him up with a half Nelson.
Exactly.
Looks like he's trying to get Osterman almost into the same spot.
Now he pulls him into his lap, seatbelt, and tries to go over the top.
It's up to 1:33 now.
Looks like we got some more blood time.
Up to 1:34 of riding time and 33 seconds left. So you know he's got an extra point coming. If you're the coaches for Minnesota, what are you trying to? Are you telling Ness to go for the pin here, or are you trying to get the tech fall?
Well, Ness's personality just says that he's always going to go for the pin. To get from 10 points up here to a tech fall in 33 seconds is going to be a difficult task. Definitely possible, but a difficult task.
I think Jason's telling him anything there on the side?
Some brotherly advice.
Still cleaning up on Osterman. Now I don't know if it's on the tape on his knee.
He is.
Yeah. He's got a whole lot of cuts everywhere right now.
Yeah, he's definitely losing a lot of mud there.
Cleanup taken care of. Match will continue here.
Osterman real good moving off the whistle there. Gets into a position that he can escape, and now he's definitely going to be looking for the home run move.
Right now, still a major decision, 14-6, but it's all intents and purposes 15-6 right now in favor of Ness.
Ness likely just looking to kind of ride this one out. Not ride it out, but just kind of, well, just as soon as I say that.
Oh, there you go. He was listening to you. I'm going to show Gordon.
Yeah.
Gets the takedown late.
And a great match. Great match for Ness. Getting the crowd into it.
17-6 the final in favor of Ness. Not bad for trailing 5-1. And here's that near fall at the end of the first period. I think more time would have been left on the clock.
Yeah, he's looking in a real bad spot there, Osterman. Ness has got that deep, and just like you said, he's got any more time on the clock. That one's going to end a little early.
Yeah, that was very close. For as close as Ness was getting pinned in that first minute and a half, that's how close he came to getting the pin on Osterman himself. We go to 157 pounds, wrestling for Michigan State. Ryan Watts, the redshirt sophomore from Redford, Michigan, went to Ferndale High School. He is 0-4 in Big Ten matches this season, 15-10 overall. Danny Zilverberg from Wayzata, Minnesota, wrestling for the Gophers, the redshirt junior, champion at 145 pounds in Minnesota. He's 1-3 in Big Ten dual matches so far this year, 11-6 overall.
Danny in a front headlock, or trying to pull down to a front headlock there.
He kind of pulled, Zilberberg almost pulled Watts right into that shot that he ended up with.
Yep. Go back to the center here. Wrestlers just kind of
taking their sweet time.
Yeah, exactly. Thought there was a whistle there, but no whistle. Just walking back to the middle.
Just casually meet you at the middle of the mat.
Meet you at the middle of that big M. New wrestling mat for the University of Minnesota. Brand new, first time it's been wrestled on.
Yeah, you got out there a little bit beforehand just to kind of get the feel of it.
Feels nice.
It's a three-piece mat. You're seeing a lot more of the five-piece being used nowadays, the easy roll.
The lighter, easier to store, but I'm glad that the University of Minnesota kind of stays with the Rizqallah mat, three-piece. It's got a much better feel to it when you're wrestling. It's a lot softer, and quite honestly, you can just get a little bit more push, I would say, for athletic moves to get to shots or what have you.
Both these guys being very tentative here in the first period.
Just feeling each other out, not doing too much. Kind of getting to one tie and not really moving the hands at all, but you have this from time to time. I don't think these wrestlers have met before, and a little feeling out period for the first period. Not uncommon. Shot there by Watts, kind of a half attempt.
Yeah, that's the you're just sending out a sentinel there. You're just trying to see if anything bites on that one.
Nice shot there by Zilverberg. Gets 2.
2 points on the takedown for Zilverberg.
And he caught Watts kind of on his heel too when he did that. That was a perfect heel pick because then he just went straight into that win on both ankles to finish off that shot.
Zilverberg, a lot like Ness, has some really good length for a 57-pounder. Kind of went to a snap and a cross ankle there, and just like you said, caught Watts kind of on his heels, and took advantage of grabbing the other leg and using the out of bounds as kind of a wall, if you will, for Watts not being able to go very far.
Tag team partner out there.
Exactly. Got to use it sometimes. It's your only friend sometimes.
Roll attempt by Watts.
And that's not what you want to do there. Obviously if you're Watts, you want to get out and force that escape there at the end. If you're Zilverberg, you obviously want to ride out the period and have a 2-0 lead going into instead of just a single-point advantage going into the second period.
And it's when he gave up the hip position is when he got in trouble there.
Yep.
When that roll happened and then Watts was on top. The hip position is the big thing there.
Huge. The biggest thing in wrestling is controlling. If you want to control your opponent, you got to control their hips. And just like you said, Zilverberg kind of gave it up there, and Watts escaped.
Zilverberg built up 27 seconds of riding time. Got trimmed down to 18 after he gets that escape. 11 seconds into the second period, 3-1 Zilverberg.
Danny had some success with that cross ankle shot in the first period. I think you'll look. That's a big shot for him. He goes to it a lot. I think you'll look for him to go to it again.
Will he push into him, or will he try and circle in and get that shot?
It's more of it's kind of a snap shot that he does. Quick snap to Watts' head, and you'll see him reach for that far ankle. It's a shot that he doesn't have to commit a lot to. You know, you'll see just like Watts there, kind of took a shot, but not really, you know, committing his hips.
He took a long shot, and Zilverberg was able to get his arms in the way and block him off.
Exactly.
And you need to clear those arms out if you want to try and get in on the legs.
Watts goes hard with that right hand underhook. He'll be looking to, just like
use that as a lever and prop
exactly.
up that. He's looking to the left leg is what you're saying.
The thing is that he's got the underhook, but he's not really able to use it due to Zilverberg kind of keeping his elbow down, not exposing too much of his body, and Watts is looking to throw that underhook and get to a position where he opens Zilverberg's hips up for a shot opportunity, but
Zilverberg there tried to get him a little bit off balance.
Yep.
Took the shot. Watts was able to get his hips down. Second period ends. 18 seconds of riding time for Zilverberg.
And Danny, normally a very good rider from the top position, so Watts is obviously going to try to get out right away, but Danny, a tough rider.
Watts no move there off the whistle. Tries that roll, which he got the escape in the first period with.
He's close here. Real good scramble here.
Reversal for 2, so we're tied at 3. 30 seconds now of riding time left for Zilverberg. It's being chipped away at. Standing switch.
And another reversal.
2 points on the reversal for Zilverberg.
Zilverberg slips the leg in when he comes up.
But Zilverberg's got to be careful for that roll that Watts has done a couple of times. Hips
He's in
are
trouble
high.
here.
Reversal back.
Back and forth here.
Tied at 5. Standing up is Zilverberg, looking for that escape. He's got that.
Zilverberg's got the underhook.
30 seconds of riding time for Zilverberg, so we pretty much...
Now both wrestlers expended a lot of energy in that minute of wrestling, reversing each other a couple times.
You can really see Watts sucking down a lot of oxygen there, getting back to the center of the mat.
Shot attempt there by Watts, kind of a same thing we've kind of seen all match, just not a real committed shot. And Watts kind of taking his time here, maybe gathering himself for, we got 30 seconds left. He's going to need to score to win.
Needs a takedown.
Zilverberg just kind of playing defense here. I wouldn't expect to see too much out of him going.
In on a single is Watts. Needs to crawl up the
Zilverberg
backside
really
to get the takedown. Not yet, down to 10.
Now that looks like a takedown there.
Not given yet, down to 2. There it is, takedown right before the buzzer.
2 points on the takedown.
And really, I think that the referee could have given that takedown about 10 seconds before he did. The position really didn't change too much. Zilverberg going to be real disappointed with that.
Watts gets the win, and here's that takedown at the end.
Now it looks to be that he has control here. Zilverberg's weight on his hands forward. Even though he maintained holding Watts' foot there,
At
he
that
had
point,
control. I think the referee could have given that takedown about 5 seconds before he did.
the hips were down. He had control of both legs.
He's got both legs, exactly. He had all the makings of what is required to have a takedown.
So Watts wins 7-6 over Zilverberg, makes the dual meet score now 8-6. We move to a 165-pound match. Before we get to that, Goldie's throwing out some T-shirts to everybody. Wrestling 165 from Michigan State will be Nick Proctor from Naperville, Illinois. Went to Nequa Valley High School, 13-12 on the season, 0-5 in Big Ten dual meet matches. Cody Yohn, the one senior in the lineup here today, redshirt senior, ranked number 14.
And Cody, a 4-year starter for the U.
And he's been at different weights too throughout those years too.
Exactly. He's been kind of bounced in between 65 and 74. But great day for him. He's his parents are in attendance. His older brother Sonny, who graduated last year, was a 3-time All-American here at the University of Minnesota, and a good day for him. He'll be looking for a big match here and a good way to go out for home wrestling in Minnesota.
4-2 in Big Ten matches this season, 16-7 overall. Cody Yohn, as we mentioned, he's wrestled a lot of different weights his freshman year. He's been pretty much at 65 since then, but the one senior in the lineup here today on senior day. And as you mentioned, his parents are here making the trip from Colorado, Alamosa, Colorado, 3-time champ in Colorado there in high school, redshirt senior. Big moment for him here.
His parents, Laureen and Kenny, kind of travel all over, and they make the trip out from Colorado for every home match. They've been here for every match that Sonny and Cody have wrestled, and great people, and I'm sure they're really hoping the best for their boy out there today.
With the decision 157 for Michigan State, 314 points. Minnesota, the 8-6 lead after 4 matches.
And what does Cody Yohn do a lot of out there? What should we be watching for in this
Cody
match?
is a very, he kind of waits for people to shoot on him to score. He's very funky, very...
kind of a counter wrestler,
exactly,
more or less.
Much counter wrestler.
So don't expect for him to be the aggressor on the shots too much. He'll let his opponent take that shot, and then he'll use something off of that, snap down to a front headlock.
Exactly. He'll kind of bait people into shooting on that right leg of his, and he'll immediately kind of sit to his hip and start to try to work around for the takedown. I'm sure that he'll give you an example of what I'm talking about before too long.
He's even got a little bit of a higher stance. He's almost trying to, you can almost see him baiting him in right now.
Exactly. And some standard defense there from Cody. You kind of...
he took the shot initially.
And now he's looking for near fall there. He's really good at that. Gets that cross wrist. Kind of kicks the legs out from underneath his wrestler, or from his opponent, and gets to this near fall position.
Good near fall move. Not much of a pinning move. You're not normally going to pin a guy from that hold.
Not normally. Now he'll have to release the hold here to get the points. And now he's going
Nelson.
for the big pin. And that's deep. It's going to be tough for Michigan State wrestler here to get out.
Well, the senior get a great send-off on senior day. Center of the mats. Proctor's going to have to battle big time.
Proctor's in trouble here. Cody's going to have to settle his hips back a little bit and lift Proctor's head to get Proctor's shoulders to the mat. He's
got the reverse, trying to reach back for that reverse half. Is he just too high right now? Is he not going to be able to?
He's a little high. He's going to have to settle his hips back.
Put the knee in the ear.
Now he's trying to lift
is he going to use his legs
direction.
to try and?
Yep, change the direction of his head to put those shoulders on the mat.
Clearly see the left shoulders off, but right now the ref's peering in there for the right.
Figure 4. And this is really tight.
There it is. The senior gets a standing ovation for the fall in 2:34.
And just like you said, Adam, a great send-off for a 4-year starter there in Cody Yohn.
Big pin for Cody Yohn, and that will send us to the half. 14-6, the lead in favor of the Gophers. And let's look at this pin one more time.
Now he gets the left leg there, scoops the head, changes the direction of the shoulders, and that's about as tight as it gets right there, Adam.
That's almost the point where you find a way to get your shoulders down because the pain he's putting you through.
I couldn't agree more.
Cody Yohn gets the pin, 14-6 the lead in favor of the Gophers as we go to the half in this dual meet, and it's going well for the Gophers so far, but still some good matches still to come. Big matchup at heavyweight in the second half of this duel.
And the most anticipated match of the duel. That matchup between number 2 and number 6 is going to be a real good one. McClure's coming on strong here lately, has some big wins recently, and Tony, obviously the returning national champion. It's going to be a great match, the marquee match.
Let's send it to the break here, and we'll be we'll have Egham when we come back. Yes, it's the working head coach, Brandon Egham. He'll be when we come back after this break.
And welcome back into Big Ten Wrestling on the Big Ten Digital Network. Matt Nelson alongside Minnesota coach Brandon Egham. And Coach, your thoughts on the duel so far? I thought Cody looked very good.
Yeah, it was great for Cody to come out senior night, get a pin like that. That was really exciting, great for him and his family and stuff. Overall, wrestling all right. You know, we had some guys that I think, you know, should have won those first 5. We lost 2 close ones that we could have won. So effort was good, but you want to win those close ones. So a little disappointed that we didn't capture victories there. But overall, they're doing great. Next 5 guys hopefully come out and wrestle the same way and continue to score points for the team.
After missing the last 4, the boss is back in the house. Jay Robinson, he's back out here. It's nice to have the headman back in the pavilion, isn't it?
Yeah, it's great to see him back here. And like we've been saying, you know, he's been getting better every day and stuff. So he's coming to the office and getting a chance to get around the guys and stuff. So it's been great for the team. And he even said great for him to be around them. So it's been good. Good to see him back.
Now, Jay's always pretty intense. Do you guys have to tell him to take it easy over there on those crutches?
Yeah, he's done a good job. You know, he's kind of laying low, but you got to keep your eye on him for sure. So
very good, Brandon. Thanks for the time. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned to the Big Ten Digital Network. When we come back, more wrestling action with Adam.
Back here in the second half of wrestling, we start off at 174 pounds. Number 2 ranked Logan Storley on the mound, on the mat.
On the mound.
I was thinking of baseball season. We're not that far away anymore.
Logan also a very good baseball player.
6-time state champ in South Dakota, Logan Storley. Wrestled last year as a true freshman, 2nd in the Big Ten, and was 6th place at the NCAA. He has not lost in a Big Ten dual match. He was undefeated last year. He's 5-0 this year, 17-1 overall, taking on Jordan Wohlfert from St. John's, Michigan, for Michigan State, a freshman.
And Logan is a beast. He is a great wrestler. I mean, true sophomore. It's very uncommon that a guy can come in as a true freshman and do what Logan did last year.
Wohlfert in on the shot.
On the takedown.
Immediately, Storley back up to his feet.
Looks like that might have served as a little wake-up call for Storley. He's looking a little more aggressive than he was in the first minute of the match.
Wohlfert, no slouch. He's 0-6 in Big Ten dual meet matches, but a 2-time state champion in Michigan.
Wohlfert had a nice shot there. That was a clean takedown. Great setup and just a clean double leg takedown. Storley with a good snap there, kind of puts Wohlfert in a precarious position there on the edge of the mat and then pushes him out.
Storley, of course, went to Webster, South Dakota High School, and
home of who else?
Some other Minnesota grad went there. I can't remember his name. He doesn't wrestle in the WWE or anything.
That guy also
UFC champ.
What you might call a beast.
Yeah. Take down there for Storley. He's working on a 2-on-1 underneath there, isn't he?
Yep, he's got that near wrist ride right now, really controlling. And Logan also very good from the top position. Not much of a pinner, but very good with tilts and exposing up his opponent's back for near fall. Just kind of controlling the ride right now. Wohlfert not giving him a whole lot to work with. What Logan is really good with is when his opponent comes up, like Wohlfert is there, Logan will kind of wait and take the opponent's chopping arm and use the momentum to get to the near fall position. Not a whole lot Wohlfert's giving him here though.
Yeah, Wohlfert's got his hips up, but Storley keeping those hip on hip pressure.
Wohlfert defending well here. Logan looking for the tilts. Got the
a couple of cross faces there for him. With a little bit of ref work there at the end with the little peer up at the ref, like he's not trying to get away.
Exactly.
Storley's not going to be too kind to you too often.
No, I don't think that's the intent of most wrestlers out there on the Division I circuit. He's
you get a chance to send a message. It'll
yeah,
be
exactly.
Sent. Quick stand-up by Storley as he chose down to start the second period. He built up a 1:05 of riding time. Nice roll.
Logan, just great movement there. Wohlfert having a tough time hanging on, and Logan out for the escape.
And what was so nice is that he used that roll and got the hip separation with it, too.
You nailed it. It's all about that hip separation, and Logan very good at getting his hips away and exposing some space to gain an escape.
4-2 the lead for Storley. Ooh, little jab there right at the whistle by Storley.
Hands to the face, just kind of keeping his opponent off balance a little there. It's a great setup. There's some guys that's all they do for a setup. It's just a little hand to the face and then a blast double leg. Jordan Burroughs, Olympic gold medalist this past Olympics, great at that. That's pretty much his bread and butter. And Logan really just a great takedown there. Goes.
Yeah, didn't even take really a shot. Just kind of got
half shot, snap down, and then as Wohlfert reached up, he secured an underhook and just threw it right by.
And now here's those tilts that you were talking about.
There he is. He's
trapping that right arm.
Yep, trapping the arm, looking for to use the momentum to get over to a near fall position.
More blood for
More
Wohlfert.
blood.
Still trying to, especially when it's on the toughest to get cleaned up is the inside of the lips because you can't put any tape or anything over it.
Exactly.
When it's on that inside portion. And when you got the nice dry air like we have here in Minnesota today. Although it's warmer than it has been the last couple of days, we're going to see the teens today at least. That doesn't help with the bloody lips and the bloody noses either.
Not at all.
Yeah, you see
Coach is trying to help Wohlfert out there, and just kind of what they're saying there is you just got to kind of reverse. So Logan is riding pretty heavy on one side, and they're saying you got to reverse the position. So they're telling him to get his hips out and kind of reverse Logan to the other side so that he can't ride quite as hard.
Off the whistle, he trying to do a sit-out.
Exactly. Tries there, kind of.
Nice
not
trap.
As easy as the coaches always draw it up for you.
Yep.
And he's got two secured. They should go ahead and award that point.
There it is.
He lets go of the hold.
8-2, 1:35 now of riding time for Storley. And like you said, that was a nice little, he just trapped it, got him for the two, saw that he got the two and said, okay, let's reset.
That's what he goes to. Logan, not much of a pinner, but great at those tilts, but he needs the momentum to kind of trap an arm and get to the near fall position.
He's up to 1:54 in riding time as Storley as well with his 8-2 lead. Wohlfert will choose down in this third.
Storley going to go optional here. And he's pretty much, he's got ride time pretty much locked up at this point. Wohlfert would have to take him down and ride for a substantial amount of time to erase that point. And so Storley just going to look to pile it on here.
He got the pro wrestling eye gouge there and jumps the gun then right off of that.
Little tardy.
There's another one. Storley's not too happy about getting taken down right away in this match, I'm feeling.
I think he's trying to really set the tone.
Yeah,
these wrestlers could see each other again. National duels coming up. Unlikely that Michigan State will be in that mix, but definitely at the Big Ten tournament. Storley really trying to send a message here that
I think Storley wanted to go with the throw there when he caught him on the knees, but he just gets the takedown instead, 10-3.
Looking to clean it up.
It is. This is strictly intimidation right now Storley's doing, especially with that, just jabbing at the forehead too. setting up a shot, don't get us wrong, but there's a little bit more to it, I feel.
And Wohlfert really just gonna have to get going here if he wants to close the gap. He's getting a 7-point deficit.
Yeah, because already riding time has been locked up for Storley. He's got 2:09 in riding time. Nice shot by Storley. Not much of a fight by Wohlfert on that one either.
No, I think he's a little worn down. Storley, in addition to his prowess in pretty much all wrestling positions, he's in great shape as well, which really, just kind of gives you a reason why he is the number 2 ranked wrestler in the country right now, only having lost to the number 1 ranked wrestler by in a point decision.
Stalling warning on Wohlfert. He's just been worked over here by Storley throughout this whole match. Other than the opening takedown he got, it's been all Storley since then. 12-4. In reality, it's 13-4. 12 seconds left to go. It'll be a major decision victory for Storley, barring a reversal. Nice roll right off the whistle.
Again, Wohlfert just trying to kind of get his hips out, and Storley giving him a little rub there.
Yeah, there's another cross
little
face.
Extracurricular. Ref didn't catch.
Yeah, Wohlfert gives him a little glare afterwards, too. Storley gets the win, 13-4.
Adam, I think you were right there. There might be a little bit more there than maybe a little bit of bad blood there for some reason.
Not a
final takedown, just the standard, double leg. Wohlfert falls to his hips and Storley just cleans it up.
Yeah. Brings us to 184 pounds, wrestling for Michigan State. Redshirt sophomore, John Rizqallah, champion at 189 pounds in Michigan. He's 4-2 in Big Ten matches this year, 21-7 overall, but he's taken on a very tough wrestler from Bennock, Minnesota, went to KMS, redshirt junior, Kevin Steinhaus, who, of course, last year 5th in the NCAAs. He's 6-0 undefeated in Big Ten duels this season.
And again, another Minnesota wrestler is just about as tough as they come. Starting at 74, Minnesota's got a real kind of, I know it's cliche to say, but murderer's row going on. 74 through heavyweights, an extremely tough portion of the lineup for the Golden Gophers.
Saw some people wearing some KMS garb in the stands here. Of course, that's where Steinhaus went to high school. Won a state title with that team, along with Joel Bauman, who's on the wrestling squad as well for the Gophers.
Also won a state football title as well. Steinhaus was the quarterback there.
He handed the ball off to Bauman very well.
Yes, exactly.
What should we be watching for here in this match at 184?
Now, Steinhaus's go-tos are, he's good with the duck, so he'll look to kind of get to an underhook position or just get a little bit of space to get a duck. But a lot of what Steinhaus does is from the underhook. So look for him to get right arm underneath, left arm underneath. He does it both ways. And but there's just a great high C.
Gets in on that single leg. Treetop position. Rizqallah hopping.
Still not 2, but that.
There it is.
Steinhaus is persistent and just secures the takedown.
Now, when you were wrestling, if a guy's got tape on his right thumb, like Rizqallah has right now, do you go after that when you see it, when you're working on top, or you just you're just doing what you're doing anyway?
See, I'll tell you what. I mean, it's guys tape their thumbs like that because it's it's painful when it gets extended or something like that. But I've always found that when you're wrestling a guy that has tape on his wrist or his thumb, it's just much easier to hang on to that wrist. I think it's an advantage for the guy who's wrestling against a taped wrist. It's just it's a great handhold. I never really understood it. Even if you have a bit of pain there, I'd always be in the camp of kind of sucking it up and not giving the guy an advantage to hang on, because as you can see, Steinhaus doing a great job just controlling his wrists here.
Near the edge of the mats. Now, when you're working on the edge of the mat here, are there times that you should just bail out and go off the edge, like what just ended up happening, or do you want to try and keep fighting in some situations?
Well, in that situation, Steinhaus has Rizqallah's hips broken down. He's in a great riding position. You don't want to get that reset there. I mean, Steiny pushed him off the mat, but normally you just want to maintain that position and ride for as long as you can. Ride time being a huge point in college wrestling. I would definitely think that you'd want to ride as long as you can right there at the edge of the mat. Steiny doing a good job though, keeping his hips in and controlling there through the end of the period.
And a minute 29 now of ride time for Steinhaus from Minnesota. So he's able to build that up in the first period. Choice for Steinhaus after Rizqallah defers. Steinhaus chooses down. Instead of getting a caution there, ref says my bad. So not only does he have tape on his right hand, he's also got between his middle finger and his ring finger on the other hand, he's got some, not sure if that's tape or what.
Me either. I'm not exactly sure what he's got going on there.
Shakes him down, gets the escape. Minute 22 still left in riding time for Steinhaus.
Steinhaus looking to go right back to that high C. Rizqallah not really giving Steinhaus the tie that he normally gets to, which is that underhook, where he can do a lot of damage from. So Steinhaus just kind of trying to take what's given to him. And
so Rizqallah wrestling pretty smart on going with this match. He's staying out of those underhooks. He's staying at a distance, and he's forcing Steinhaus to take a shot like that.
Other shots, yeah. I mean, Steinhaus is having to go with shots that are just not necessarily his bread and butter, but what's kind of given to him. He's in a position here. He's got a low lift. He's got to come out the back. I'd expect
he's got to be careful.
Rizqallah looking to maybe get a leg cradle here. Steinhaus just staying with it though, and Rizqallah obviously not happy with the results of that one.
Great shot from the camera there. Every wrestler, when they get taken down, that moment happens. Sometimes they make it visual for you like that where you can see it, but
absolutely.
Up to a minute 45 now in riding time for Steinhaus.
Steinhaus got control of the near wrist there. Makes it extremely difficult for Rizqallah to get up. He's looking for kind of that same tilt that Logan was looking for in the match previous.
Trap the forearm underneath the body, hips tight.
And just roll it to a near fall position.
Not sure what type of...
Steinhaus, again, another wrestler, much like Logan, not a big pinner, doesn't pin a lot of people, but does do well with tilting and getting near fall that way.
Hammerlocking that arm on the back, and then...
Will only get 2 points there as you see the ref counted 4 seconds of exposure. You'll need 5 to get the extra point, the extra near fall point.
7-0 the lead for Steinhaus. He's got 2 minutes, 21 seconds of riding time, so you can pretty much put that riding time on the board.
It's pretty locked up.
Now, the ref was he showing that they were intertwining fingers, or?
Yeah, they sometimes you get to that position, it's just both wrestlers are just trying to bend each other's fingers back, but Rizqallah trying to Granby to get out of that takedown, and Steinhaus smartly just stays with it and keeps his hips down and ends up with the takedown, and now I think Steiny's just trying to pour it on.
Steinhaus, very heads-up wrestling there. You notice after he got that takedown, his head was overlooking to the coaches. He was asking, what do you want me to do next? Do you want me to cut him and go that route?
At that point, he has the major locked up, and just looks to the coach to say, hey, you want me to put on a clinic, or you want me to ride this one out? And coaches want to give the home crowd a show.
And we've seen Steinhaus do it before, where you can, in that third period, you can go takedowns, and you can get a lot of them in a very quick fashion.
Mm-hmm.
11-1 the lead. He's got that riding time point.
Going for that tilt that he got earlier again. Arm across the back, and then reaching, and he's got it.
Hammerlock, tilt. Left arm on the hammerlock, reaches underneath the right shoulder.
And this time he gets all 5 seconds of exposure, so he'll...
Trying to cinch in a half, too, but no luck. Rizqallah battles back to his stomach. 14-1 now the lead for Steinhaus. 20 seconds left. He's got to try. Yep, coach is yelling to cut him now. Steinhaus finally hears him with 15. 14-2. He needs that takedown.
There's the duck. Steinhaus.
Down to 5.
Underhook. Oh, no.
Rizqallah fights it off with the roll.
Avoids the technical decision by kind of a last-ditch maneuver to dive under and extend the match just a few seconds.
15-2 the final in favor of Steinhaus. And here's that last.
Got the leg up. Rizqallah dives underneath, gets hold of the leg, and just extends the match for a few seconds to avoid the technical decision and saving a team point for Michigan State.
So it was that roll through, and then it was the grabbing of the leg that prevented the takedown.
No control established. The referee rightly didn't give Steinhaus a takedown there, and avoids the technical fall.
Brings us to 197 pounds.
He's missed a few matches, and it's good to see the old man on the bench again.
Here at 197 for Minnesota, we'll be seeing Scott Schiller, the redshirt sophomore of West Fargo, North Dakota. Went to West Fargo High School, 3-time champion in North Dakota. 6-0. He's trying to go undefeated in the Big Ten duels this season, trying to stay that way. He's 6-0 right now.
And no easy task.
Luke Jones wrestling for Michigan State out of Tustin, Michigan, with Leroy Pine River High School. Was a champion there in Michigan. He's 0-3 on the season in Big Ten duels. 16-10 overall on the year for him. And Scott Schiller coming in. This has been one of the wrestlers that maybe has been the most impressive for the Gophers this season.
And it's a great fill-in. You know, last year we graduated a senior in Sonny Yohn, who is a 3-time All-American, and Scott comes in and kind of fills the shoes of a great wrestler and has done a good job doing it.
Went to West Fargo, very good high school program up there in West Fargo. Especially at all the wrestling events that happen up there in Fargo, North Dakota as well.
Scott looking like the physically kind of superior wrestler in this match.
Trying to back heel.
Another guy with really heavy hips, not easy to score on. Great defense, and
Treetops that single leg for a takedown. It's the 2-0 lead.
I'm guessing he'll be looking to put on some ride time here. There's no better way to really tire a guy out than to ride him really tough early on. And Schiller, again, a guy who's in great shape, is going to be looking to build some ride time here and exhaust his opponent.
Good job by Jones here, keeping his base, working up to his feet. They go off the edge of the mat. 26 seconds of ride time built up for Schiller.
One of the more frustrating things, Jones gets to his feet. You know, he gets to the feet, he's on it. He battles for, 20 some odd seconds to get up, and then just so happens that he gets to his feet at the edge of the mat, and Schiller just pushes him right off for a reset.
Not what he wants in that situation. Jones did a good job getting himself. He had worked his way back up to that position, and just
absolutely. It's I can't tell you how frustrating it is when you expend all that energy to get to your feet, and right at the edge of the mat, guy just boop, reset.
Yep, back to the center.
Yep.
Thanks for spending all that energy. Deep waist ride we're seeing here from Schiller.
Really tough ride, just looking to break Jones down, and Jones breaks down flat there, and Scott just kind of riding parallel here. He'll need to get a near wrist and get out to the side to look a little busier. The referee might ding him.
Haven't seen too many of those yet so far. Nice work there, working on that right wrist to Schiller. Got up to 1:30 and said that's enough for the riding time. Ends up Jones gets the escape. Minute 31 of riding time for Schiller. He built up here in this first period.
Schiller goes right back to that head.
A little bit of a height advantage between these two with Luke Jones. Choice for Schiller. He'll choose down to start the second, leading 2-1.
And the height advantage is really great if you know how to use your leverage. And we'll see. It's usually really, well, indicative on the top position, but Jones
got too high.
Gets a little high there. Schiller keeps his base, sits back, and little reversal straight to the back. And this is... Schiller kind of with the exclamation point there with that reversal lift and drive to the mat that really takes a lot of out of guy.
Gets the 2 near falls, 6-1 the lead. Now trying that tilt we've seen a couple of times from the Gophers here. Storley and Steinhaus have used.
And these upper weights, Schiller, Storley, Steinhaus, they all, in the wrestling room wrestle together, wrestle each other a lot of days. And so you'll see kind of a similar style out of those wrestlers, just like you will, kind of through the smaller guys, the Dardanes and that.
That's why you're seeing so much very familiar with, as you mentioned, these last 3 guys.
Exactly. A team, Michigan State has a certain style, Iowa has a style, Minnesota has a style. It's just, and you'll kind of see similarities. Dylan Ness being a guy that kind of breaks the mold a little bit.
The Ness family kind of wrestles to their own drum a little bit.
Exactly.
But they do extremely well with that drum. Double leg shot.
Powerful
Schiller.
Double there. Another exclamation point.
Good takedown. Now over 2 minutes of riding time for Schiller.
And like we were talking about earlier, Schiller kind of just hanging his legs there. If Jones wasn't going to push the action, he was just going to kind of sit there and burn some more time off the clock right there at the edge of the mat.
And take some more riding time just to make sure he's got it in the back pocket before we get to the third period.
Jones really going to have to get going here if he's going to get off bottom.
No caution for either guy. Ref says my bad, so didn't have that whistle right away. Quick stand up by Jones. Got some hip separation, but Schiller just right back on him. As soon as he got even a little bit of space, he just right back on top of him. Second period ends. 2:19 now of riding time for Schiller. Big match at heavyweight coming up next, and you kind of feel that in the crowd. Everyone's, for the Gopher fans here, just kind of very content right now.
That's the one they came to watch. I'm excited to see how that one plays out. It's going to be a really good test for Tony Nelson against the guy in McClure who is really coming on strong recently.
Schiller, of course, named Big Ten Wrestler of the Week. That win against Illinois. Big match as that one turned out to be.
Huge match. It's he's wrestling a former, the defending Big Ten champion in Gonzalez, and really comes out and it was the difference. That match isn't necessarily expected to go that route, with the Gonzalez being favored, and Schiller really turns that one around for what would have been a go for loss otherwise.
And it really stemmed the tide of some bad momentum that had started up early in that dual meet, and that was a big win. 8-3, Schiller leading, 2:50 of riding time. So he's got that point in the back pocket. Needs a takedown to get to that major.
Looks like both guys kind of wearing down here a little bit. You see that when the bodies get a little bigger, they're not necessarily as vigorous in the late goings. It's just a bit more muscle to keep going for 7 minutes.
Roll through, and nice job by Schiller keeping his wits about him there when Jones tried to do a little modified upper body throw.
Schiller not going to really push it here. He's just kind of going to hang and
got the major decision right now.
Let the time expire.
We'll take it.
Refs seem content to do that as well.
11-3, the final in favor of Schiller. Gets the major decision victory over Luke Jones. Makes the dual meet score now 26-6. And here's that last takedown. Jones with that throw attempt.
Really just kind of a bail out there. He's in bad position. He's got his leg. Schiller's got his leg up, and that's kind of just the last ditch. I'm down by 7 points and need to do something if I got a chance at winning. So Schiller smartly just kind of hangs his hips and doesn't give into it.
Now that brings us to the big match of this duel. Brings us to heavyweight. Wrestling for Michigan State, Michael McClure, the redshirt junior out of Holland, Michigan, went to West Ottawa High School. 4-2 record in Big Ten matches this season. In fact, those are his only 2 losses, 26-2 overall. Wrestling for Minnesota as the redshirt junior from Cambridge, Minnesota, went to Cambridge Isante High School, a 2-time champ in Minnesota. It'll be Tony Nelson, 6-0, undefeated in the Big Ten. In Big Ten duels this season, 17-3 overall. They're get ready for this big matchup between these two guys. McClure with a nice... These are going to be 2 big hosses going at each other. What should we be expecting coming up in this heavyweight match?
Well, I actually... Tony doesn't really do too much. Not the most offensive wrestler. And McClure's the guy with something to prove. Tony's been there and done that, and I expect McClure to kind of come after Tony, but that plays right into Tony's game, which is defense, heavy hips, and really forcing his opponent into bad shots. But McClure, again, coming on strong recently. He looks like every bit of the specimen that I've seen on paper, and an exciting match here.
Just a couple of strong guys going after each other here at heavyweights.
Monsters. These guys are huge.
Number 7 and number 2 in the nation.
Schiller's major decision, 197. Hanson over 14 points. Making the duel 26-6 after 18 matches.
And the big thing with the heavyweights is you want to make sure if you get in on a shot, you want to finish that shot. You don't want to get caught underneath the guy.
Well, I mean, I would say that's probably how 75% of heavyweight scoring is done, where a guy, shoots in and he might have a good shot, but he doesn't finish. And, these guys are so heavy, they just pretty much squash him and then go around behind for a takedown. So I don't know that. I'm sure McClure's watched tape on Tony and knows that's kind of his game. So I wouldn't expect to see a whole lot of action here in the first period. Kind of the guys just filling each other out, and a lot of hand fighting and head pulling pretty much.
And the referee can also dictate a little bit how this match is going to go, how quick he wants them to see some action in this matchup as well. Because he could hit both of these guys with a stalling warning at some points.
Exactly. You
try and force the action.
The referee, he could definitely do that. There are some referees that will do that. I don't think that, this referee is going to insert himself into the match. I think he'll probably let the wrestlers take care of it. But I mean, I would just expect to see a lot of this. It's a very anticipated matchup, but I wouldn't expect to see too much action.
The ref just pulled the whistle out and said, I want to see some action here. So
yep.
No one's really attempted a shot yet. Doesn't mean they haven't been working towards a shot.
Tony with a kind of a half attempt, like we saw out of Watts, kind of in that 57-pound match.
A cautious shot. You want to show the ref that you're doing something while at the same time not putting yourself in a...
Exactly. An outside shot, a sweep single, which doesn't put Tony underneath McClure. It's, just kind of a half attempt.
Seeing Nelson use that hand to kind of push off on the forehead like we saw with Storley earlier.
Nelson here with the, I'm pretty sure he has a reach advantage there, so just kind of using that to keep McClure at a distance, maybe frustrate him a little bit with hands in the face.
Yeah, where was our tail of the tape on reach on this match?
Yeah.
No score after the first. Between number 7 and number 2 in the nation. McClure will defer. Choice Nelson chooses down.
Nelson chooses 5. We're scoreless after 1 period of wrestling.
It's all about getting that quick escape here if you're Nelson.
Tony, pretty much go-to on the bottom is a stand-up. I'd look for him to get after that right away. Maybe a tripod first, but he'll be looking to stand up.
There it is.
McClure trying to...
He wants to lift him.
Lift a real big man and take him to the mat.
He's really going to have to pop those hips, but he gives up the escape. 15 seconds of riding time.
Nelson's so solid when he gets to the stand-up position. You see those tree trunk legs he's got. He's a big human and tough to return to the mat, especially the way that McClure was trying to do it from not a great position to get Tony's hips out and in the open.
Well, especially with the leg angled outwards, had his leg been a straight up and down, better chance.
Here's Tony's and I would say there's the match. McClure going to have a real tough time. Tony obviously kind of baiting him into that shot. That's his game. A squish and go behind is what he did there, and that's
the danger with your McClure. He wanted to try and take a shot, be the aggressor in that situation, and Nelson just flattens on him.
And Nelson, forces people to do that. You put pressure on people going forward and making it look like you are the aggressor, even if you may not be actually have any intention to shoot. But it puts McClure into a bad position. He's got to do something, and he takes a bad shot, and Tony makes him pay for it.
And Nelson building up the riding time as we speak, up to 30 seconds, leading 3-0.
Nelson very good from the top position. This is
double wrist ride.
Heavyweights that can ride or make for a very tough wrestler, and heavyweights that can't be taken down and then can ride. Makes for even tougher. And that's
gonna win a lot of matches.
That's where Nelson's kind of found his niche.
Second period ends. 1:04 of riding time now for Tony Nelson. He leads 3-0 in McClure.
McClure not
sure about what he wants to go.
Not necessarily wanting to go down, but the coaching staff over there pointing to the mat. Hey, you got to get out. You got to get a point on the board. But he's got a tall task to get out from underneath Big Tony Nelson.
And it's all about that first move off the whistle for him in this spot, isn't it?
Absolutely. He's got to get going early. If he lets Tony stretch him out and get his weight on his hands, he'll be in a tough spot. But great move there first by McClure. Gets up, but Tony stays with it, gets him back down to the mat. He's got his weight on his hands, and now McClure in some trouble here.
Yeah, and this is what Nelson has done so well. This is how he was a national champion last year. Nelson rarely puts himself in a bad position, especially on top, doesn't he?
Very, very safe wrestler. Not going to give you a whole lot to worry about when he's out there. He just kind of has got a few go-to moves, and that's what he sticks with, and he does them very well. You see him just with the near wrist ride, just riding real heavy on top of a McClure here and making it difficult for McClure to even look like he's doing anything. You hear some of the crowd out here calling for a stall call, and Nelson might get it, but it's tough for McClure to move underneath that big body.
I was going to say, and in all honesty, for McClure, he's trying to get up. It's not like he wants to be laying down on stomach on the mat, that's for sure.
Absolutely not.
As they go off the edge. 2:23 in riding time, so for all intents and purposes, a 4-0 lead for Tony Nelson.
I'm sure you can think of a lot better places to be than underneath of a 250-pound brick house.
Weighs on you after a while, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Nelson with a caution. Stomach, his hand coming around the stomach wasn't on the belly button. It was too much on the side, the ref said. Usually they wrap around too far. Half
Nelson going for it here. He's got that deep Nelson. Half Nelson, that is.
Well, where's our band to have the rim shot after that statement? .254 riding time. He'll have over 3 minutes of riding time. It'll be a 4-0 victory here for Tony Nelson. It'll improve the lead for Minnesota.
Nelson with a very determined victory there. He knew he had a big match, and he rose to the occasion.
Got that takedown and
pretty much win as expected. And there's the match right there. McClure tries to get his arm out, get some space between him and Nelson, but Nelson just too much, too strong. Gets the takedown and really goes into control of the match from there on.
29-6 now the lead in favor of Minnesota. We go to 125 pounds.
And you see some of the crowd starting to file out a little bit. I think that it was clear that was the big match there. But the faithful sticking around, seeing Corey Hodowanic, who has filled in a couple times for David Thorne this year.
Yep.
Done a really great job. Fun to watch. A lot more action in this match than the previous match, and so should be a fun one. A lot more action.
Taking on Brenan Lyon, a redshirt junior out of Ithaca, Michigan, champion at 103 pounds in Michigan. 1-4 record in Big Ten dual meet matches this season. 6-13 overall. Hodowanic, a redshirt sophomore from Cornell, Wisconsin. 11-6 last year, but that was just all at open tourneys last year. Yeah. Definitely can tell the difference here.
Absolutely.
125 pounds after seeing the heavyweights out there. It's
feeling each other out still, trying to get a feel for what the other wrestler's tie is and then how to get past it or get to your shot, get to your tie. I'd expect a shot coming soon from one of these guys. Corey Hodowanic kind of getting that hook there with his left hand. I think he's looking for a right leg sweep single. There's the shot.
Trying to get on that
sweep.
Lyon's got that inside collar tie, so he's in the more dominant position.
Now this takedown is far from over. Corey in a good scramble position, but Lyon got the leg underneath his arm. It's going to be tough for him to score there, though. Corey got a good hold on that ankle.
Hodowanic just looking for the stalemate.
And a good scramble position here.
Really holding on to that ankle.
Ref stops the action. Not a potentially dangerous call, but that's really what it was. He just didn't like the position and the potential for one of those wrestlers to get hurt there.
Especially with the way those knees were getting bent around.
Hodowanic, now the benefit of that shot, he takes a sweep single, could have gotten stuck underneath, but goes right away to get out. And
Lyon trying to make him pay.
Lyon trying to clean it up, but Corey scrambling, using some flexibility.
That's a nice save by Hodowanic.
Really trying to muscle up that leg. It's going to be hard for him to finish with that little real estate to work with. Now Hodowanic underneath.
Not able to make that work. No score after the first period between Lyon and Hodowanic. He'll have choice, defer. Well, Hodowanic, Lyon chooses down.
Some good action in that first period, though. That's definitely a change of pace from the heavyweight hand fighting, that's for sure.
Good spiral right off the whistle by Hodowanic. When you're in that sit-out position where you're looking for
that right there, you're looking for some hip separation, for an opportunity to kind of reverse your hips and get them up. You're sitting out, you're just kind of looking, you're kind of baiting the guy one way or the other, and then you want to turn in. Lyon got to a wizard position there, which just puts separation between him and Corey, and did a good job getting out there.
Only 19 seconds of ride time for Hodowanic. Trails 1-0 to Brenan Lyon from Michigan State.
Hodowanic, there's that sweep single again. He locks his hands, and he'll try to, you saw him do it earlier, he kind of really powers his knees in there and he low lifts. Now he'll be looking to get one of Lyon's legs down, and his, the leg that you see there, over one of Lyon's legs, and then, but he's gonna have a tough time to do it here.
It's Lyon close to getting a takedown right now. Some other coaches are yelling for a takedown for him. A lot of their bench getting up, nothing yet. Hodowanic. Good scramble by these two.
Some good action. Now Corey needs to get, it's a tough position to finish in. He'll need to get his hips turned around, and he needs to get the that leg. Oh, yep.
Hooking that right leg.
Now the ref is right. He still hasn't called a takedown. The crowd's calling for it, but there's no control there yet.
And it's because of the hands clasp around that leg by Lyon that kept that takedown from happening.
Now Corey had the wrong leg over. If he gets his left leg over and can kind of switch his hips, then he'll have control in a takedown. But he just needed, he got the wrong leg over, and it was kind of a scramble position. The ref was right by not calling a takedown there.
Blood time here for Lyon. And this week on BTN.com, don't miss any exciting action. Go to video.btn.com this week and check out our upcoming schedule, or go to videobtn.com for more information. Check out a whole lot. And now, Hodowanic's going to have to try and get out here.
Yep. He'll, I mean, still a real tight match. It's going to be decided, I'm pretty sure, by one takedown. Hodowanic pretty good from the bottom position. I haven't seen a lot of Lyon from top, but Corey's going to want to move quick here and get out. He's got a 19-second advantage right now for riding time, but Lyon obviously can lock up the match if he can ride for a period here.
Lyon grabbing that ankle right away. Technically, you're only allowed Maybe it's
and
maybe
you see the ref there telling him to get off the ankle.
Picks it again.
He'll only have a few more seconds there.
It's potentially dangerous. I was wondering if that might be a stalling warning on Lyon there. Technically, I think 3 seconds or so is how long you're supposed to hold on.
Well, if you're using it to get to another position, if you're using it for a turn or for something like that, then the ref will let you go with it. But if you're just using it to kind of hold the bottom guy up and kill some time, then they'll definitely get you off of it.
Now Lyon's got a leg in. Look at that crossbody ride, but
Hodowanic looking to swim here, and he's got a good position. He should come out on top here for a reversal. He was looking for more there. He kind of took his time, was looking for more than a reversal. Wanted to, I'm sure, go straight to Lyon's back there.
So it's 2-1. Hodowanic with the lead. Lyon had a little bit of riding time, but that will not factor in here. As now he clicks over to Hodowanic's side for riding time, but no one's going to build up a minute of riding time. So it's 2-1. Lyon's got to get the escape to get to overtime. In the sit-out position, which you got the escape on earlier.
He's looking just to get some separation there. Hodowanic, he turned in, and Hodowanic was ready for it. Almost put him on his back there.
See if Lyon tries to get back to that sit-out position. Down to 25.
Hear the crowd kind of getting into this one, really getting behind Hodowanic, trying to spur him on. He's got 18 seconds to ride, to ride out for the victory.
Down to 10. Roll by Lyon. Hodowanic stays right with him, but he's into that sit-out. Got to move quick.
Hodowanic's staying tough and rides out for the victory. Great win for Hodowanic to come in, fill in for David Thorne, and get a Big Ten victory. That's a great win for him.
Very nice victory for Cody. Hodowanic makes the final dual meet score, 32-6 in favor of Minnesota. And looking back at this one, pretty good performance for the Gophers. Not great, but pretty good for what they had out there here.
You come in, the Gophers obviously the heavy favorite in this one. Michigan State without a Big Ten win. And the Gophers came in and did what they expected to do. They got some big wins out of their top guys. And, Michigan State snuck out with a couple wins for their wrestlers, which is a great deal. And but this one pretty much went down the way I guess we expected it to.
And a big win for Tony Nelson to get him back, keep things going for him. A nice 4-0 win over McClure.
Huge win. That's McClure, a tough wrestler, but Nelson went out and did what he had to do, took care of business.
Big win for Minnesota. They win 32-6, the final score in this one. This copyright telecast is presented by the authority of the Big Ten Conference and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Big Ten Network. For Gordon Bierschenk, I'm Adam Bartles, and Matt Nelson, thanks a lot for joining us.